Hello.
Hello.
We are
Say hi.
here. This is Noah. 1 year later, we're actually exactly 2 weeks and 2 days away from her first birthday. So almost
That's it.
one,
That lasted a
1
long
year
time.
later. And
Lasted a long time.
yeah.
So as you say, 1 year later, here we have the miracle that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, here
Yes.
she is.
Yes. So when you think about a year ago, what is the first thing that pops into your mind when we go back 1 year, you know?
I think the actual birth is like the biggest event, so it really stands out. All the the difficult part of the labor and the contractions and the pushing, and like how could that not be the biggest thing that stands out?
For me, is the one memory is like her face
Yeah.
when she came out, and I still remember her
Yeah.
face. I usually
Also
don't
that. What?
I don't usually have vivid memories of things, and her face.
Yeah, definitely the moment that she came out and
Please.
came up onto my chest and her eyes were open, just and you saying like, wow, her eyes are so, I forget what you said, like a forest spirit or something. She was so alert and just looking out at me, and it was such a that kind of reward at the end of the long process of getting her out. Yep. It all of that kind of hard parts just instantly disappear. So, yeah.
I think the best part of this book for her is ripping the doors off of things, which is not. It's not part of the book.
Destruction mode. Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot has happened since then.
Yeah. The
Since
first
that
day was
night.
funny. We woke up, had breakfast, and she was asleep. And we're like, wow, what an amazing
We have a
baby.
dream baby.
She lets us eat breakfast, and this is so great. It's gonna be wonderful. We don't understand our friends who just, they say they can't do it. It's amazing.
So easy.
Oh, that's another door. Maybe I take this away from you and give you another book.
You
Yeah,
might
the
as well
pee-pee
remove all the
book.
doors.
What's that? Yeah. It's exciting. Press on the things.
So when you talk about birth between you, what are, when you're like remembering the moment together, what is it that becomes as the strongest empowering memory?
Memory?
Oh.
Like the birthing process.
I think that for me, I have a few, right? I have a few hard moments and a few moments of like, whew.
You always talk about how when Susanna
Yeah.
came, everything changed.
For me,
Yeah.
like for me, it was a huge change. That was like I was tense and stressed the whole time, not sure if I'm doing things right, and everything was difficult. We were doing the pressure points, and we were communicating
trying to remember
over.
all,
all
okay,
the-
like be calm and
Yeah, and everything like that, and we were exchanging messages, and you asked me, "Do you want me to come?" And I remember I wasn't clear. Like, wait, why is she asking me that? Why is she asking me if I want her to come? Yeah, obviously I want her to come, but if she's asking me if I want her to come, maybe she shouldn't. It's like I didn't know what to do, right? And then at some point I knew. Okay, no, this is the time. That was clear. At some point I was like, and I picked up my phone and I said, "Please come." And I remember that as soon as you walked in the door, nothing even happened. I was just.
you were really, well, it's because
I was just so relieved and calm, and
it just served, I think, when you came, it served as a reminder. So, we could have done that ourselves. Like, okay, like, stop for a minute and think. And when you came, it was like that time when, Susanna's here, we see her face, and we're reminded of what we need to do. So I think, like, your pace changed because you felt like, okay, right, it's time
it was
to be
everything.
calm.
I feel like everything just became slower and more calm.
Yeah.
Like the way I was talking, I remembered from the course what I should say and how I should talk. But when you came, it was soft and calm, and just the whole energy for me changed. And we spoke about it a couple of times, and I think you were in a different kind of zone, so it didn't have the same impact for you. But for me, that was kind of the most moment. And I think maybe two of the hardest moments was one with the pressure points, that we found that pressure point and I had to press it, and I was like, this is incredibly
the
hard.
pressure point on the butt.
Yeah, with your
Yeah, and there was this amazing nurse there that was pressing for like 3 hours straight, and then she's like, "Do you mind switching? Because I'm getting a little bit tired." I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Rana, you wanna go play? You wanna go play? Go play. Cheeky. Bye. And I was like, yeah, of course I can take over. So I sit down, I press, and literally 30 seconds in, I'm like,
This is hard.
no. How am I supposed to go more than a minute with this? So I was like, no, this is really hard. How do you do it? And she's like, so that was super difficult. And the other part was the end, when she just wasn't coming out.
Yeah.
Then was the whole...
Yeah. I think it was a little bit of a language barrier thing, or I don't know, or culture barrier or something. But so I had been pushing for 4 hours by the time she came out, and the midwives, I was looking for more feedback from them, like what do I need to do, because I don't know what's happening down there, and I like they can see it and they've experienced it. So I wanted more instruction, and I was like, I don't know what more I can do. I'm pushing, and they kept saying one more push, and like I don't know, in
We both
English
thought,
or like
one
what I
more.
was thinking, like okay, just one more and she's out, but like how many times can you say one more like how many more? So finally Menny was, I said to Menny, I was like, I don't know what to do, you need to tell me, like you need to look and tell me what to do. So finally he did what he said he didn't think that he would do, and he went and he looked during a contraction, like when I'm supposed to push, and so he could kind of like critique the situation and give me clear instruction what I had to do. And so he came up and he was like, okay, this is what you have to do. You know, you're pushing, and then the contraction's over and it's going back up. So you need to,
it's going back.
The thing that you can kind of see is going back up. And so he was like, you need to push and hold it there. You know, he was telling me exactly, you need to keep it there. You can't let it come back up. So I was like, okay, that is very good. So I think that is like a really strong memory for me, because that's when it kind of clicked. Okay, that's what I had to do, and it wasn't long after, and she came out.
Yeah, it was like 3 pushes and she was out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So that was like a turning point. Like, okay, yay. I get it. So.
Yay.
Yeah, that was very strong memory for me.
Yeah, you got
well, because
what
then
needed.
I got what I needed, and then of course she's born a few minutes later. So it all is kind of like the culmination of all the work.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously before I went into labor, I was trying to imagine what it was going to be like, of course, because you want to prepare as much as you can, and you want to get in that state, and you want to, and you can never ever prepare for it, and you can never even imagine. And now I'm thinking like I'm part of this club. It's like an elite club if you've done this before. So. Yeah, I don't know. I really think all the strength came from the preparation, from thinking so much about it, and thinking so much about how I wanted it to be. Like, what would the ideal birth, labor situation be? And like, I don't know if any woman goes into it, not thinking so much about it, but I really thought about it a lot and prepared and read, of course, your books and other books and the course and all that. And because I had thought about how I wanted it to be and how I wanted to make sure that I was calm, and I really didn't want to have regrets about the labor. Like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I regret that I got, so angry at Menny or something like that. Like, I really wanted it to be like a really nice memory. Not in that it was so easy, just in that, like, I did what I set out to do, and there's no regrets about any point in it. And so, and that is how I feel about it. Like, I don't think I did anything that I regret. I never like got angry, or I never felt like, oh, I'm giving up, or I never because I wanted to do it all natural as well, and I didn't. I never felt like, okay, just forget it or whatever. So I really feel good about it, and I feel like that only came because I had thought so hard about it and had goals for the whole thing, and you got to do it. So it came from just deep, just keep going, and you think also about the reward at the end, of course, it is basically the biggest challenge that I've ever had, or someone could have. And I've always been a person who likes to set goals and meet challenges and work hard for things, like many women are. And this is the biggest one. And so, and it just feels really good to have set out the goals and prepared for it and actually achieve it. And it's funny because almost every woman in the world gives birth. Of course it's possible, and everybody, does it. But it just feels so different when it's you yourself doing it. It's wow, this is crazy. I know I can do it. Everybody does it. It's possible to do. But just for yourself to do, it doesn't matter that everybody else is doing it. The fact that I did it is just, it's amazing. Very, very meaningful. It's really insane. And I wonder how it will feel actually if and when I do it again, if it will have the same meaning, or if it will, and I think it'll be just what I make of it, I guess. But of course the second time around you're oh, I've done it before and I know what's going to happen, but I think also that whole preparation time, it could have just as much meaning, because it's a whole different human that's being born, so you make it what you want it to be. And I definitely feel like a different person having accomplished that, which is not something that you feel after everything that you accomplish, because it's okay, whatever. I actually do feel I don't know, I've come to a new level or something like that. Yeah. Which, I actually think that I have more confidence as a person as well. Honestly, I do, because it's amazing. I just it's amazing that I did that. So I feel it feels great. Yeah.
For me, it's so funny. So many things have changed, and I never thought that I would think these things. And it really sounds cliche, but the simplest example: you watch a movie where a parent talks about how important their family is to them, and they do anything for their children. And you're 21, and you watch a movie, and you're that's the boring part of the movie. But now, a lot of things in my brain have changed. It's bizarre. It's really bizarre. I'm a relatively logical person, and I can't explain it. But it's crazy. What do you want to eat this?
It's been a really amazing experience, and we're really happy that we've done it with you as well. Yeah. It's made it extra special.
I'm very grateful I was a part of it. It's a big honor.
It's an honor. It's an honor for us to have done it with you. You really helped us. I don't know how to say, structure everything, feel confident going into everything, and having a record of everything. And
it's beyond the record. I think the type of people we are.
You need this.
Yeah, I need this. The type of people we are. This was the perfect thing for us.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was fate. Yeah. So I don't know if it's right for everyone. Yeah. But for us, it was the best.
Okay, thank you so much.
No,
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Wave.
Say bye, Noah. You know how to wave.
Bye bye. Good job.